and down to Abbeville, and then on a straight line east to Greenwood, to 96, finally to Silver Street in Newberry County, Prosperity, and then over to Little Mountain. Total destruction included about 140 homes damaged or destroyed. There were 6 known dead, 3 in Calhoun Falls, 3 in Abbeville. Joe Cheek took these pictures on the Sunday in Calhoun Falls. And Joe, briefly, in your own words, if you will, tell me what you saw while you were there.
These first shots are on a Highway 28 bypass in Abbeville, and the shots you just looked at was the church. And across the road from the church, well, the church was totally destroyed. Across the road from the church is this Exxon gasoline station. And as you can see, it was totally destroyed also.
Of course, there were thousands of sightseers who lined the highway, and the National Guard and the other law enforcement agents who were trying to direct traffic diverted a lot of it from these areas.
It was very difficult to get around Sunday. Actually, it's still difficult to get around over there.
Timber destruction alone is going to run into the millions of dollars.
I believe that's a big oak tree right there, and it just twisted it apart. It didn't actually pull it out of the ground. This is Walt Sizemore's boat shop, and it's a very lightly constructed building of light aluminum or some type of siding, and what it is, it tore out the windows and the sign in the front, but really didn't do much damage to the building itself, and it's a wonder. And this right here is in Calhoun Falls, and this is the site of the motel where I believe 3 or 4 people were killed here. That fuel tank also came from across the highway. It picked it up and set it in the field, and that right there is what's left of the motel. There weren't very many big pieces left. These are the cars that were parked in front of the motel. They weren't damaged too badly. It's a wonder they weren't picked up like the motel itself was, but a tornado is a funny thing.
How about this, Joe?
This is just down the road. I guess it's from the motel itself. It starts about a quarter of a mile from it and runs quite a long stretch there. I guess the total area is 2 or 3 miles, like you said. And these homes were hit hard out here. I believe it totally destroyed just about every one in its path right here.
Actually, the tornado had a great wide area in which to travel in this particular section because it's adjacent to the highway where many people had built their homes. The proximity to the highway making it easier to get to work and get back home with the groceries and the sort. So the highway was lined with homes. It was wide open. They say in prehistoric times a great lake once was in this particular area right here, covered everything. And for the most part, the soil is flat, the pasture land, and the homes, of course, bordering the road. And as you see it here, debris, what was left of homes, and sheds, and barns, and trees. The destruction very great. Tornadoes have an erratic path. They'll jump and skip about, sometimes travel in a circle and come back and clean out an area maybe that it missed. You never know which way to go. They don't go in a straight line. A tornado is like a hurricane that goes over land. As a matter of fact, that's a practical explanation of a tornado. Wind can play out over water because of water mixed with the wind and the air, but here you go across land and you pick up dust, dirt, debris, and it becomes a very destructive thing. It's one of the most powerful things that we have in nature.
It's travel. In some areas it seems like it's real straight, and then again it'll just skip back and forth left to right, and then sometimes it'll just jump completely over home and not touch it at all.
Sound of the helicopter, of course, was Governor West inspecting the area, which has been declared disaster area.
And this is the path it took on its approach to the Hodges Highway before it hit any homes right in that area. In fact, in this area is just where they're building a few homes now, and some of them that were under construction were destroyed.
These were some strange sights that we saw. There'd be a pile of lumber in some areas. This is where lumber was packaged up for construction, and then it was scattered about. We noticed several areas, just a pile of lumber all over the place. Of course, many hardwood trees suffered damage, as did the pines. Probably be months cleaning all of this up.
So I think so. I think the thing I saw most of all around the housing areas was insulation from the roofs. What's left of the home of Patrolman Jack Mitchell in Abbeville, and we have him here, and he's agreed to tell us a little bit about what happened. He said he was in a house at the time, and Jack, could you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, the lights had went out, and for I guess about 15 to 20 minutes, and I heard the wind picking up. It seemed to get a little louder and louder. And I caught the sound of a heavy roar coming. That's when I realized what was happening. So we ran into the bedroom, got the children out of bed, got them in the closet. By the time I got my wife in the closet, it hit. The doors come up and hit me, knocked me across the room. Next thing I knew, it was over with.
Was your closet in the central part of the house?
Yeah, it was in the hallway.
And did you actually come to the front door?
No, I went through the hallway to the bedroom, got them kids back into the hallway, into the den, and back to the hall. It was just like a Masonic boom when it hit. And then it was gone, and I guess the wind blew for another 5 minutes before it let up.
Did you get any advance warning by TV or anything like that?
It called for extreme thunder showers, thunderstorms.
And you say it did damage to your car also?
It totaled my personal car and totaled my patrol car.
Did any of your family receive any injuries?
No. No, we're very fortunate. Get out of it alive, I guess. I got a few cuts and bruises right to begin with, but they didn't amount to much. Walk in there if you want to see something.
We were invited into the home of Sheriff Patrolman Williams and to look around. The walls seem to be in pretty good shape, but as you can see, there's no roof at all. He said the bathroom was still in pretty good shape. In fact, the shower was still working.
That's unusual. He must have his own well there. And of course, the electricity was out in many areas. What was this, Joe?
This is just a few hundred yards down the street was a trailer, and the foundation's there just a little bit to the left of the trailer, and it just picked the trailer up and turned it upside down. And I talked to the owner just for a minute, and he said probably it might have moved the trailer further from the foundation, but I believe it hit those trees. That was the direction the storm was heading at the time.
These are pictures that were taken on into Abbeville, I believe, weren't they, in the late afternoon?
Yeah, that's right. This is, I guess, about a half a mile over from McKenzie Acres, the area that was the hardest hit. This is just a little off the due west highway here. And I believe up there on that hill is where one of the young boys was killed. I believe he was hit by a tree.
There were 2 children killed in the Abbeville area, in this particular area here.
That's right. The family that lived in this house right here in the foreground had intended on doing a little cookout in the yard that afternoon, but their friends talked them into going to Greenville, I believe, to have supper, and they were away at the time the storm hit.